We're going to start things off with this tweet. We only have two direct tweets from him that I thought were kind of relevant. One where he says, "If you don't like me, don't follow me, period," which is very unprofessional behavior. It's not something that a professional should say. When you become somebody like this, I like to think that you're more than just, being who you are. And yeah, everyone's human. Everyone is human. That's true. But it doesn't give you a license to be a jerk. When you're the voice of Son Goku, you're kind of like more than who you are. That's such an iconic character. We're talking one of the most profitable franchises, I think, at least in geekdom, right? I mean, Dragon Ball is so big, normies know who Goku is. You kind of become like the Mickey Mouse of a generation. I feel like you owe it to fans to be more than who you are. But when you get on there and you say, "If you don't like me, don't follow me," I mean, that's pretty rude behavior. You could just not say that, mute people that bother you. That's always a way to go. And then if you have people being complete jerks, yeah, I say go ahead and block them. But for the most part, I feel like it's up to you to be the bigger person. We're going to learn that that's not something that Sean has ever taken to heart. So this came about, we all remember this story when he was getting into it with people. And people were calling him Beta Sean or Beta Goku. He says, "My DMs are always open. You think I'm beta? Write me. I'm not messing around anymore. I've been in touch with law enforcement already. Next step would be the FBI." I just wanted to share this one because I thought it was funny. You think I'm beta? Sorry. He'll never live that down. Never live that down. Funny story, though. Go check out one of my previous and older Sean Schemmel videos if you want to get the scoop on that. But let me tell you what I did. So I went to a lot of Sean Schemmel videos, interviews, or people talking about their experiences with him or whatever on YouTube. And I went through the comments and I clipped out some. And I wanted to talk about some of the fan interactions that people have had with him, just to kind of show what people think of him. Now, there were a few positive ones, but let me tell you, the negative ones were easier to find. It seems that Sean is quite irritated with fans. And like I said, and I'll say it again, when it comes to some people, like Vic Mignogna, he considers it a pleasure to meet you and an honor to meet you. When you have someone like Sean Schemmel, they consider it a pleasure for you to meet them, an honor for you to meet them. It's the other way around. That's how it should be. They should be gracious to meet you. And I get working long hours and meeting tons of people. Yeah, it's frustrating, but you know what? People do it all the time in the service industry. And Sean Schemmel makes a lot more money than some dude flipping burgers. So this is one example of the comments. This one's actually not that bad. "I'm a huge fan of Sean Schemmel's work, but I've heard from a ton of people that he's a total D. Makes me pretty sad. But I do a spot-on Sean Schemmel Goku impression, and I'm nice. So if he ever quits, I can pick up Goku, and I won't be rude to my fans." Now, this one you could argue he's heard from people, right? But we heard the same thing with Vic Mignogna. I've heard some things. So this one's not bad, but I wanted to just throw it in there. I'd also like the preference that you can say that these aren't verified, and you're right. They're not. But I still want to go over them anyway, because I have heard and I've read stories that Sean is a jerk. There's quite a few videos on YouTube where people talk about meeting him, and most of them are pretty bad experiences. So I'm going to go over these. Are they 100% confirmed? No. But that doesn't stop us from speculating and going over what these people claim is true. Listen and believe. Listen and believe. I actually got to meet Sean at MomoCon in 2018. He ripped on my appearance some since I'm on the skinnier side. I couldn't retell if it hurt my feelings or not since he was pretty engaging. But right when I was about to hand him a DBZ manga and I was going to let him have, he signed it for free. You only paid for one, right? Don't worry about it, man. Make of that what you will, honestly. I honestly see it as a double-edged sword. And that's something that I've seen was a common thing. Sometimes he's nice, sometimes he's not. The rumor around the grapevine that I hear is the guy is bipolar, which shows, it actually makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Now, I can't confirm that either. That's a rumor. It's a rumor that's been said by a few other people in the community. So I don't know. It kind of makes sense to me when you read the pattern of behavior. Yeah, it's a shame to meet someone you really like because of their work, just for them to turn out to be total b-holes. When I got to meet Sean Schemmel, which was years ago at this point, and I was pretty young, high school age, I think, and he totally ruined the experience. He was signing at the same time as another VA, though I can't remember who, and that guy was a bit late to the signing time. Sean started to complain about it because it was apparently holding up the line and how he couldn't be put this because he had a flight coming up later that day. He ended up taking out his frustration on the fans and was pretty unpleasant to meet because he did not seem at all interested in the people coming to see him and was totally out of it because of being angry and worrying about his flight. Like you said, it's a humanizing experience, but usually reminds you just how much the people who voice certain characters don't act or aren't like those characters. So I like this one because this person didn't pay for anything. Now you can go into a line and meet somebody. You don't have to pay for an autograph. You can just go up and say hello, shake their hand, and that's it. You don't have to pay for an autograph. So this is why I like this story, and I'll explain after I read it. When I first met Sean, I was without money at the time, so I wasn't able to pay for a picture nor autograph. It seemed since I didn't pay, he just wanted to rush me through to get to those who did pay. Also, he seemed busy, etc. I managed to stumble out a few jarred words, which was my attempt to start a conversation and give him a 4-star Dragon Ball, which used to be a necklace I own. The conversation attempt failed. I wonder if he just kept it or handed it off or worse, trashed it. It was the oddball and wanted to thank him and gifted him with something without anything in return as others want pictures, autographs, etc. He seemed baffled and rushed me out of my way to greet the next person, etc. Needless to say, my first time meeting my childhood hero voice actor didn't go as planned and I felt as if I annoyed him somehow. I try not to think about it as if it upsets me, but coming by this video, I felt like sharing my experiences as if I've kept it to myself until now. So you don't have to pay the money, like I said, but the guy still stood in line to meet him. And I get it. You're there for hours and working. But you know what? You don't do it every day. And if it wasn't for ruler of this under sky here, this guy, you wouldn't even have a job. I feel like when you're a celebrity of any kind, you owe it to the fans. Like, these are the people that keep you going. You wouldn't have work or any kind of celebrity or money if it wasn't for the fans. So even though this guy didn't have money, he still stood in line, drove a distance just to meet you, and you're pretty much treating him like cattle, like he doesn't exist. This to me is really insulting. So this one you can take how you will, but he actually addresses a problem that I'm sure a lot of you will have with this one in his edit update. I've personally witnessed Sean physically assaulting convention staff after he's had a few drinks. My only wish is that I had documented the evidence of that event because I would have buried him with it. Then he edits and updates. I'm getting a few replies along the lines, where's the evidence? And these replies are 100% correct, that it would be hypocritical of me to use the same level of evidence against Sean as has been used against Vic. So I'll pull the call out in the hopes that maybe someone who has it recorded. So, yeah, apparently this happened at Melbourne, Australia in 2014. If anybody has that footage, God, I would love to see it. Yeah, when I met Sean at a convention in Phoenix, he seemed pretty upset when it was my turn to meet him. I just wanted him to sign a Funko Pop because it was the first time I met him. The whole thing seemed to bug him. Sabbath, however, was a effing angel, hands down the coolest guy you could ever meet. Shared a funny story with me and got a cool photo at the end of it. And then he signed a pink shirt, a pink Vegeta shirt. In short, got excited to meet Sabbath. He's a genuine gentleman. And that's one thing that I've heard consistently. Now, we've talked a lot about Sabbath on this channel and other channels. But if there's one thing I can't say about him is it seems like in the lines when he's meeting fans, he's professional and generally gives them his all. I don't think that's something you can take away from the man, and I do commend him for that. Sean, however, is the total opposite, which is funny if you think about it. Like, Vegeta is supposed to be the jerk, and Goku is supposed to be the kind one. It's almost like the real live persons are flipped in the characters, It's just funny to me. I met Sean in person at Phoenix Comic-Con. It was either 17 or 18, can't remember. But it seemed as if he didn't want to be there and was on his phone when I met him. Oh, very nice. I had to buy an autograph as well in order to get a picture of him. Surprisingly, Chris Sabat doesn't need an autograph and was just cool with the picture. I've met him once, and wow, never meet your heroes is such a true statement, especially with Sean. The thing for me was that I asked if I could get a few things signed, and he agreed, and I said the usual, I'm a huge fan stuff. I could barely speak to the guy since it was my first experience meeting a VA, and literally my childhood hero. His voice was everything. So anyways, he signs 2 of my things and says that will be $50. I was like, oh, the sign says $25. He said, no, each signature is $25. So I said, oh, okay, my mistake. I wish I knew because now I can't get a picture. My buddy actually had to come give me money since I couldn't go to the ATM. So he talked to us and called my friend a Broly lookalike, and we just went on our way. I was really taken back a bit, and then I met the voice for Ash Ketchum, and I told her I spent all my money on Sean and messed up and didn't have any money. She gave me a free picture of Ash, and Pikachu signed it and made it personally out to me, and I got a picture. That all would have cost me $85, and it was free. Ever since then, I've not cared to meet Sean, even avoided meeting Sabat. Bottom line is Sean has no patience, and his ego is massive. That's also something that I've heard. And I think you kind of get that picture just from going through these. This is a response to my last video. Hey Flash, I met Sean a few years back at Rhode Island Comic-Con and when he saw that Vic signed my cover for his Dragon Ball Xenoverse, he actually admitted to having a beef with Vic, which that's unprofessional. First, he claimed that Vic likes to sign all over his S, and after that he told me that him and Vic don't get along. But anyway, yeah, I definitely got the vibe from him that he's a D. Especially since he also seemed more interested in talking to my then girlfriend at the time and not really so much me. And I was cosplaying as Goku. Oh, also at the same con, Chris Sabat also made a snide remark to me about my Goku cosplay. It's almost as if he was making fun of me, which was also disappointing because I'd already met him a few prior months at a different con and he was super nice to me there. So here's another one. A couple of my friends met most of the voice cast of DBZ back when Battle of Gods English dub had been recently released. The first person they met was Schemmel, but he was having some hissy fit or something as they arrived and stormed off. Right behind him was Sabat, who apologized on Schemmel's behalf, saying he's kind of a D. Introduced everyone else that was there and told them some behind-the-scenes stuff. Then they got a signed copy of Battle of the Gods by the whole cast that was there. Schemmel made his signature cover up the majority of the cover, so everyone had to squeeze their names around his, and he wasn't even present during the entire meet and greet. I love his work as Goku, but he's the definition of a self-centered jerk. So, are these 100% verified? I can't say they are. I just went and looked at people's comments on videos, and the one thing that I noticed, even though some of them aren't that bad, is that the guy seems to be more irritated with fans than happy to meet them. And I feel like when you owe fans everything, you should be a little more grateful. We know the guy has a huge ego. I mean, this isn't anything new. There's that history with him hating on Team 4-Star, and there was a whole thing with him at a con, at the first Kamea Con, I think. I can't remember which one, but they were bringing in all of the Gokus, and all the English Gokus, and he threw a big hissy fit over Peter Clowns, or Clennons, or however you say his name, who was I think either the first or the second English Goku through the Ocean dub, and kind of the running theme is that he used his clout with the con to make sure Peter didn't get to go. He kind of got called out for it, and they let him come back, and Sean kind of didn't do anything. But apparently, I guess he blocked Peter or something. It's a long story. I think I covered it. But the point is, the guy comes off as a jerk. He doesn't seem to be for fans. He seems to be just there for some money, which I guess is fine. But, when you owe everything to fans, you should be held to a higher standard. I really believe that. But it is what it is. I just went through these and I wanted to share them with you guys. I want to know what you think. Have you met Sean? Let me know. Tell me your story. What do you think about him? Do you agree with me? Do you think that these people owe the fans everything? Do you think that they should hold themselves to a higher standard? I mean, you think about people in service industries. I know someone's going to say, think if you were working somewhere for long hours and dealing with people. I have done that. I've worked a service job. They have to do it. And even if they're mad, they got to have a smile on their face. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you're still subscribed. If you're new, consider subscribing. Hit that notification bell. Like, comment. Check out the links in the description. Consider checking out my Twitch. I'm trying to do some video game streams, so check that out. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.